Kunle is not joining us.
He's having a party that they're drinking beer and loud in his house.
It's
I
another
told
Wow.
him, don't bother, don't worry.
Yeah.
it's another Formula One show, and we're going to be discussing the George Russell's contract talks. We made to discuss that is Mustafa and Mr. Johnny.
Okay, so let's start off with George Russell. You know, George Russell's a funny person. Earlier this year, he's like, I've got nothing to worry about. I'm sure the contract will be signed by the summer break. Uh, Next thing you know, we have a rumor that he shut down a 1 year offer from Mercedes. But then Toto Wolff came and said, "Oh no, it looks like he didn't say this, but he says Russell is my guy." That's after he found out that Verstappen is not going to be available. But lo and behold, the summer break is here and still no contract signed. Everybody was like, "Oh, it should be signed. We should have an announcement by Hungary." Now that Hungary's over, George Russell says, uh, I'm not worried. There will be nothing signed during the summer break. This thing is going deep now. It's going deep into the year. And then George Russell said, there's no need because I'm relaxing. I don't need to sign contracts now. I want to enjoy my holiday. To me, you know what that means? It means I don't want to be depressed haggling with this guy who doesn't want to give me what I want. That's the way I interpret it. You're having your holiday. If everything is so good, you would think you would be in a rush to sign it, especially since Verstappen is leering. Once again, I think there's a standoff. I think Toto Wolff is not going to give him more than 1 year because I think Toto Wolff is still keeping the door open for Verstappen. I think what Russell wants is a multi-year contract which ties him there for 4 or 5 years and says that he's the man. If he All I have to say is that if he wants that type of contract, then he should win. I'm not being sarcastic. If they have the fastest car next year, he should win the driver's title. If he does that, then I don't think Toto Wolff will get rid of him for anybody. But other than that, he's on the rails. And people have said it. Maybe Russell needs, if that what he wants is to be the man, maybe he needs to start talking to Aston Martin right now. What are your thoughts, Mr. Johnny? Yeah.
Yeah. You see, the thing about Russell is that what actually what's happening to Russell is a normal thing.
What's
The fact that
normal?
he has not, yeah, exactly, the fact that he has not won any Grand Prix, that's why I know that's why I mean that's
Title.
exactly
He
why he's
doesn't want
not
a
getting
title.
all these fancy contracts and extensions,
Yeah.
and he's just jumping the gun. He needs to first of all win all this before he can make mouth or even just exactly. And Toto Wolff is doing exactly that. He's keeping the door open because
Mhm.
he's a businessman, and he knows that stuff has to happen. And he knows that Verstappen could be available and stuff like that. So it's all.
Yeah, and Russell, he tries to play like I've worked out, I've been honest. But meanwhile, he's the number one snitch. Even Leclerc now, yesterday Leclerc called Russell a snitch. But although, to be honest with you, the way Leclerc was breaking and turning, that was really bad against
Oh
Russell.
yeah,
And Russell
no,
came out and said
Leclerc, that was bad from Leclerc, that's for
it was
sure.
bad. So I'll take Russell's side. But then afterwards, why is Russell coming out to embarrass Ferrari saying, I looked at their telemetry. I'm pretty sure they were raising their tires. They have
I'm
joint weight.
involved.
That doesn't help him drive faster, and it's not going to help him gain points because Leclerc is not in the driving. It's just to me. And once again, people say, "Oh, you have to do that to other drivers to put them down." I'm not saying it's a moral case. What I'm saying is that he needs to be focused fully on himself and win more races and try to win a championship rather than trying to get points by telling on other drivers because that means he's not. I don't want to say he's not focused, but you can't push the envelope. Everybody has a finite amount of energy. He needs to focus more. What are your thoughts, Afalabi?
Yeah, because he's the head of the drivers association, doesn't give him any kind of right to begin to poke his nose and begin to
Yeah,
dictate here uh, what is not. Russell is reportedly pushing for a minimum of 2 year guaranteed deal. But if you look at Toto Wolff, he's making calculated moves to protect Mercedes'
yeah,
long-term competitiveness. And he doesn't want to lock George Russell for too long. He keeps he wants to be flexible in order to sign a top driver, possibly like Max
yeah,
Verstappen, if the opportunity arises. So he doesn't want to commit himself. He may also want to
yeah.
motivate Russell to keep delivering top performances by holding off a long contract. But Russell, I feel he
Yeah.
should prove
Because I'm not gonna lie.
he needs to prove himself. He hasn't proven
Yeah,
himself enough to
I'm not gonna
prove
lie. I
to prove to
I
Toto
get the
that he
sentiment.
deserves
Yeah.
a 2 year contract. He hasn't done enough.
No, and I'm not going to lie to you. I get the sense that if Russell signed a 5 or 6 year contract, what happened to Checo might happen to him. He'd just be hanging
Exactly.
out with
I
his
thought of
girlfriend
it
on a
too.
yacht.
I
I get
thought
the
of it
feeling.
too. I
I mean,
thought
there's only three right now. Let me name the drivers who, no matter how much money you give them, they're going to drive all out. Hamilton, for those of you who think we're 4 block guys, we're talk about Hamilton. Hamilton, Alonso, Verstappen, Leclerc, those 4, and then Piastri. Those 5. Russell, we know he's a brilliant driver, but I wonder if Russell is one of those type of people. You know how you can be good at something, but you can retire and you don't care. Russell is like a politician. I think he's a brilliant driver, but I'm beginning to wonder if he's like has the heart of a racer. What I mean by the heart of a racer, he can race well, but is he willing to die for F1 the way that Senna did? You get my point? I don't think so. I'm wondering. So my thing is that I would be careful before giving him a long term. If he wants a long term, first win the championship. Next year
yes,
you
you
have
have
your
to
1
prove
year.
yourself.
Show if you can win. What are your
He
thoughts,
hasn't
Mr. John?
proven himself. He hasn't proven himself at the highest level.
Yeah,
He has not proven himself yet. Yeah.
I
What
think
are your thoughts?
Russell is not. I can't even imagine him like winning back to back. Even if he had the
No,
chance.
no. And Verstappen
He's
went
not
back to
that kind
back to
of.
back.
Yeah, he's not that
Yeah.
kind of one. He'll be like how Rosberg came and went. Or
Yeah.
he'll probably be like twice. But I don't see him like doing like 7 times,
You know
8
what it is?
times.
Russell's good, but he doesn't seem to be obsessed with racing. He doesn't
Yeah.
seem. He seems to be more of a well-rounded person. Like those people that we knew in school. They do well in football. They're also house captain. They're also
Yes.
prefect. He's like everything, Mr. Darling. So he's good at everything.
Sports
But
prefect.
meanwhile, Verstappen is the person who will come last in class and have to repeat a year, but will do well on football. You get my point?
Yeah.
Russell will do well in school. He brushes his teeth nicely, wears deodorant every day. He makes political connections. So he'll win. Like I think he'll win 1 or 2 titles at most. If you want to talk
Yeah.
about after Verstappen, of the young people, the person that looks like they'll be a multiple champion now will be Piastri, because that's all Piastri thinks about is racing, and you can tell. What are your thoughts, Afalabi, before we go to the next subject?
Yeah, absolutely. Piastri seems to be a lot more focused than George
Sorry,
Russell.
sorry to kind of feel you. I would give Piastri a long-term contract right now. Go ahead. I would do that.
Oh, sure.
But I don't know.
Absolutely. George Russell seems to be fixated in the fact that he seems to be seeing himself as the next best thing. But if Mercedes are going to sign him up, they're going to see perhaps some qualities that make them believe that going into 2026, they can take a risk on him. I don't think Toto Wolff is willing to take that risk on him, and is keeping his cards open. If the opportunity arises for a brilliant driver like Max Verstappen, he doesn't want to have been seen to have tied himself down to George Russell. So Toto Wolff is trying to play safe. That's why I see.
Also, if one more thing, Mr. John, I know you like Piastri, Norris. I'm not saying that Piastri is a better driver than Norris, but it seems like Piastri is more stable for the long term. You get my point. I think Norris will win a championship here and there, but I don't know if he has the work rate to do it year after year after year. What do you think? Yeah, that's why I would sign Piastri.
I'm not even convinced that Norris will win a championship.
He can win this year. He's good enough to win. But what I'm saying about Norris is Norris, and it's not that he's not committed. I just don't know if he does enough meticulous work to go here. Because if you look, Piastri keeps getting better every week. What's your thoughts, Mr. Johnny? So, because I know you like Norris, and I'm not saying that Norris is not a good driver, but do you think he can maintain 6 or 7 years of focusing just on racing and win like 3, 4, 5 titles? Yeah.
No, I don't think it's a cycle like that. I don't think
I think that's what it is. He has the talent, but not the cycle. That's it.
Yes, is that he'll win, like he'll do 1 year. I can give it all his done. Maybe another year, but I don't think he's that kind of like back to back kind of like driver winner champion.
Thing. Piastri is 23 or 24, is it? I think. So what I'm saying is that after these Russell and these guys, the people with Piastri will be competing against. Won't be Norris and Corey. It'll be like Bortoleto and all these guys, and I think he's going to beat these guys badly. He's going to beat, because by that time, Verstappen and those guys will retire. So let's move on to the next thing.